Hi, I'm Kelly and welcome to Kapowski Reads, and it seems like summer is here. Maybe not officially. I think summer starts mid-June. There will be an equinox at some point. The official welcome of summer will happen, but I'm doing it now because in my mind, summer starts in June. And as somebody who hates summer, I am determined this year to make the most of it. At the very least, to not hate it. I'm aiming for like a baseline. It was okay. That's what we're going for. And to sort of welcome in the summer, I wanted to focus this vlog on reading 2 books that I feel have summer vibes. They may or may not actually have summer vibes when I get to them, but in my mind, they do. And I also want to share with you my summer, like, I don't want to say bucket list because it's not a bucket list, but my summer sort of to-do list. A list of things I want to do / achieve over this summer. I'm counting summer as June, July, August, the full months. I may end it early because the second a pumpkin spice latte like whiffs its way over to my nostrils, I'm like, whoop, autumn is here. But for now, we're doing summer, and these are the books I'm going to be focusing on in this video. I'm very excited. I've one of my newest books, The Sacrifice by Rin Chupeco, and this book is a young adult horror already I'm in, and it takes place in the Philippines, in an island in the Philippines. And my thought process there was, when I think of the Philippines, I think of it as being a very warm place, and that could be summer. There's an island, summer. And this particular island is thought to be cursed. There is a god and there are sacrifices that legend says if a certain number and type of sacrifice are made, that this god will be giving you a lot of power. A film studio rock up, they're going to be making a documentary, and I'm sure that they will treat the island with the respect that it deserves. Will they? I don't think so. And bad things start to happen. That's all I know. I'm excited. I love a good horror. I love a good YA horror as well. So I'm very much looking forward to this. This is one of my newest purchases. I got this when I was in Waterstones a couple of weeks ago. I think it was April. Who knows? And the next book is by an author I have read before. It is Friends in Napa by Sheila Yasmin Marikart. This is the same author of The Goddess Effect, which was one of my favourite books earlier this year. It's actually one of my favourite books of the year. This particular book takes place in Napa, which all I know about Napa is they do wine, and it seems like rich people go there. And I feel I'm basing all of these assumptions on The Parent Trap. You know, the knowledge I got from The Parent Trap about wine. Wine country, is that what we're saying? This book surrounds a group of old college friends who may or may not still be friends, and they reunite in Napa Valley for the sort of release of one of the friends' wine brands. I think this is going to be, well, it's going to be excellent because I've read this author before and I really like her, so I think it's going to be great. I think there's going to be toxic friendship. I think there's going to be unpleasant rich people, and I know there's going to be people getting bumped off, at least one victim. And I'm excited for a little bit of chaos and just, yeah, I'm really excited. These are both books I really, really want to read, and therefore I'm going to. They both seem to be set in places that I think are sunny, and therefore summer. That's the logic we're going with. That's my working. I am going to, in the spirit of summer, I'm going to go out and have a little walk before I get started my books, because it's nice to get some vitamin D from the sky rather than from my multivitamin. However, my multivitamin is a little teddy bear gummy, and that's actually genuinely quite fun. I'll come back with bookish updates and my summer to-do list in a little bit. But let's go outside. let's talk summer plans. The arms are out. It's summer. It's been really hot. We're having like a proper heat wave, and outside is delightful in that it's nice and bright and sunny, but oh, the pollen. The pollen so much. I feel like proper bunged up here, but I have my list. I have my book, my summer to-do list, started life as a post-it, and then I wrote it in my book. So now it's proper, like it's official because it's in the book and it's written in ink. So let's go through my summer to-do list. These are the things I want to do in June, July and August. And if I don't do them, I'll live. It's fine. These are just things I would quite like to do because I think that that will set me up for just like a really fun 3 months during the time of the year that I usually just really don't like. I have split this into 2 sections, places to go and things to do. There's a little bit of an overlap between some of them, but we'll just go with that. So I'm going to start with places I want to go. Which the first thing is a thing I want to do. I want to go on the Aberdeen tour bus. We recently got a city tour bus, which is very exciting. When I go on holiday, like any city I go to, I want to go on that tour bus. Take me to all the places. I don't drive. Let me go see them. That is one of the things I love to do. And then like I'll do a walking tour or something. I'm very fun on holidays, as you can tell. Walking tours, love a museum. But I love a tour bus, and Aberdeen recently got a tour bus, and I think it's only here until like September. So I want to go on the Aberdeen tour bus. I have lived here for 11 years and I still don't feel like Aberdeen is home yet. Like my house, where I live, that's home. That's where my heart is. By heart, I mean that's where my boyfriend is. So therefore, home. But the city, I don't really know the city that well. I moved here when I was in my sort of, oh, I like to stay inside phase of life. So I would like to go on the tour bus and see places that I haven't seen before. So that's top of my list. I actually am hoping that that's something that we can do on my birthday. So that's getting ticked off. Some of these other things can probably get ticked off on that tour bus because I think it maybe goes to these places. I want to go to the beach. I love Aberdeen Beach, especially when it's a rainy day. It's gorgeous in the sunshine, but when it's rainy, it's just so moody and it's really, really pretty. I love the beach. Haven't been there for ages. I think I went there last summer, but I don't go as often as I'd like. So the beach is on that list. I want to go to the botanical gardens. I've never been to the botanical gardens. They're in a park that I have been to, but I never went to the botanical gardens because we had the kids and they were really small and they had no interest at all in the botanical gardens. But I do. And I want to go to the university gardens. I've been there before and I went at a time of year where like nothing was growing. I picked the worst time. So I'd like to go, hopefully it's in bloom, or I can at the very least enjoy the arboretum and just, you know, it's nice. Nature. I want to go to the art gallery. I know I've recently been, but there's a new exhibit which is, I think it's called Monsters of the Deep, and it's like on deep sea, and that sounds really interesting and I really want to go and see that exhibit. I want to go to what is, I think it's called the Tall Ships. Basically a bunch of really tall ships are coming to Aberdeen in July. I think it's July. I will double check the dates. And there's like a huge like celebration happening because yay, tall ships. There's more to it than that. I just don't really know the ins and outs, but I think the last time all of the tall ships were here, it was like 30 years ago. So I would like to see them while they're here rather than wait another 30 years. Will I even still be here in 30 years? I don't know. And I don't want to think about my mortality right now. And the last of the places I want to go is I want to go to an ice cream shop. Which one? I don't care. I have been to a few and they're all really good. So I would like to go to an ice cream shop, at least one ice cream shop in Aberdeen that does a dairy-free ice cream. I can think of 3 off of the top of my head right now. I just want to go to at least one. And then let's move on to the things I want to do. I want to read 15 books from my physical TBR. I want to get 15 books read from that pile, clear up some space, enjoy some great books, and feel like I'm making progress in my goals for the year. I have some books that give me summertime vibes, so I kind of want to focus on them. At least that's the plan as of this moment in time. I might read totally unseasonal books. I don't know. That's a thing for me of the future. I want to watch 6 summer vibe films. What do I mean by that? I don't know. Books, films that make me feel summery. I definitely have one film that I can think of off the top of my head, which I think is called My Donkey, My Lover and Me, maybe? It's a French film, and it's about a teacher who goes off in the summer holidays, and the man she's been having an affair with is there with his family, I think. And it's definitely a summer film. It's just I've never had time to watch it in summer, and I feel I need to watch it in summer. That's the only film I know for certain I'm definitely gonna try my best to make time for. I don't want to watch it out of season. It feels it's a seasonal thing. I would like to do a weekly outdoor walk. No, I don't want to do that, but I feel I should do that because it's nice to go outside and it's nice to not be inside all of the time. If it were up to me, I would never leave the house. I love the house. All my things are here, but it's good for your brain, your overall wellness to go outside sometimes. So I would like to start doing like a weekly I go outside moment. Maybe I'll do audiobooks, something like that. In the same vein, I would like to read outside. Again, just once a week. I don't need to be anywhere gorgeous. I don't need to be in like a beautiful park, reading at the beach. I can just read at my garden. Like my garden's nice. I haven't done anything. My boyfriend sprayed. We have like a little bench area and he painted it and it's really pretty. I could read there. That would be nice. I want to get back in the habit of doing some self-care. So I want to have my weekly face mask. I still have a lot of sheet masks to get through. Maybe I could focus on using those up as well as some of the masks I have that are already open. I don't want them to go dry and go out of date. I want to actually use my stuff. I want to rewatch The Hills. I love The Hills. Like, I love The Hills more than probably one should. Let me know if you want me to do a recap of the series because I will be happy to chat about them. I'm so excited. I'm going to watch all 6 seasons. I'm going to watch all 6 series. I usually haven't watched it for a while, but I usually only watch series 1 to 4. And then I kind of don't really watch 5 and 6. But I want to do the whole lot and I'm excited. So if you want me to chat about that, let me know because I have got a reading vlog kind of themed loosely around The Hills that I plan to do at some point. But, you know, we'll get there when we get there. I want to make smoothies. I have been seeing all of the beautiful people and their gorgeous Erewhon smoothies. I can't afford Erewhon smoothies. I do not earn $20 smoothie salary. I just don't. I also don't live anywhere near an Erewhon. We don't even have a Waitrose in Aberdeen, so we definitely don't have an Erewhon. I want to make some dupes. I've seen people making like copycat recipes of those smoothies and I'm like, yeah, I want to do that. It's been warm. That feels like smoothie weather. And if I make a smoothie at home, I can make sure there's no banana in it because I hate smoothies with bananas, but I love smoothies that don't have bananas and vitamins, fiber, all good stuff. So that's on the list. I also have some crafting. I want to knit and finish 1 pair of socks. My thought process is maybe I knit a pair that's kind of autumnal themed so that they can be finished and ready for autumn. I really enjoy knitting. especially socks. I find it really relaxing, and I've been doom scrolling a lot, and I want to not doom scroll. I want to use my time a little bit wiser. So maybe I could do some knitting while I'm half watching TV, or when I'm, you know, listening to an audiobook or just trying to relax. I could knit and not scroll. I also would really like to finish my mum's cardigan. I started crocheting her a cardigan 2023. It is not finished, and I've not touched it for about a year. I would like to finish that cardigan so that I can give her the cardigan that she has forgotten that I am making for her. It also means I can free up some space in my home, which is currently filled with a half-made cardigan and all of the yarn that goes with that cardigan. So it would be nice to get that finished. That is my list. Yeah, that is my list of things I want to do and places I want to go in summer 2025. Let me know if you have a list, or maybe you are not over planning like I am. I'll be back in a little bit with my book updates. I have finished both of them and I'm excited. I have book updates, finally. I know I said I'd already finished my books when I was filming the last section, but I needed a bit of time to like get my thoughts. So that's why I'm coming back. I also think that the weather heard me. I think Mother Nature heard me moaning about my hatred of the sun and the summery weather, because we just had like the rainiest weekend. So much rain, so grey, and I didn't hate it. It was still really warm though, like, oh, you know, my horse for some cold weather or a cooling breeze, but I don't have a horse to trade for that. Let's talk about my books. Not imaginary horses. I have finished both Friends in Napa and The Sacrifice. I'm going to start with The Sacrifice because I finished this first. This book focuses on a kind of cursed island in the Philippines. There is believed to be a dreamer god in this island, and the local lore is that if there are 8 specific kinds of sacrifice, this god will give you power. You'll get their power. And so this film crew from the US have rocked up and they are going to make a documentary, and they have some very stereotypical members of the cast, including a few people who have done some really awful things and gotten away with them because they had power, and they felt very like, oh, I don't want good things for you. Luckily for me, who doesn't want good things for these people, a sinkhole appears on the first day, and in that sinkhole is a sort of gnarled tree that has like sort of got a corpse growing from the tree, and from there on things start to happen. People start to see people they couldn't simply see, like ghosts. They're seeing spirits, and they are literally being haunted by their own pasts, and I really like that. I wanted a ghosty story and I got a ghosty story. The crew have hired a local, I was gonna say boy, he's like 18, so he's, you know, grown, but they hire a local young man, shall we say, called Alon, and he is the only person that kind of doesn't fear this island. So he's like, yeah, I'll show you around. I trust the island, and he is very respectful to this island. The crew are not, and it was a really enjoyable read, and the crew were just awful. And there's this moment where you're thinking maybe they're gonna be respectful of this island, fingers crossed, but that just didn't happen. Most of the crew were awful. There were perhaps 2 to 3 people who weren't awful, and I was like, please let them be okay. Please let the woman who's working for experience and no money, please don't let her die on this island while she's working for free. I really liked this. It was creepy and I didn't expect it to be quite as creepy as it was. Isolated island settings are one of my favourite kind of books, especially if you throw in a ghosty, and we got some ghostly spirits. We got some not too happy god moments. The dreamer god not too happy. No, don't you show up to their island and start doing what you're doing, drilling stuff. I also really liked there was a dog. Alon had a little dog who had no lines because they're a dog, but they were a really good character and they were really fun, and there was a little bit of a sort of bubbling romance between Alon and the son of the director, and that was unexpected, but I liked it. And I liked that the son of the director kind of grew as a character and he became a bit less entitled, kind of learned to respect things, and I quite like that. But this was just a really fun, really creepy read, and I didn't expect the ending. I kind of expected a bit of the twist, but then when the rest of the twist came, I was like, unexpected. Really enjoyed it, and I would like to read more books by this author, even though I have tried to before and I just never got around to it. So I'm very happy with this one. But even though I was really happy with that book, that pales in comparison to my absolute love of Friends in Napa. I gave this book 5 stars, and this book actually was my favourite book that I read in the whole month of May. I loved it. I love this book. This is going to most likely make it onto my favourites of 2025 list. I think. I don't know, but I'm feeling hopeful. This is about a group of college friends who go to Napa to a vineyard. One of the gang has more money than sense, and what he lacks in wine knowledge, he is making up for in money. He's got a vineyard and he's opening his fancy wine lodge, and he has invited his old college friends to sort of share in his success slash boast about his success, and they've all rocked up to Napa. All I know about Napa is that it feels like it's a wealthy place. I really love this book. I have read one book by this author before, The Goddess Effect, and this book kind of gave me similar vibes in regards to the way that the author writes characters, where they are first and foremost awful. You don't want to be friends with them, but you want to know somebody who is, because you want to know what absolute chaos this crew are getting up to. And that's how I felt with this book. I would not want to be friends with them, but I would want to be like on the outskirts. I'd want to know, because they weren't overly likable, but they had their moments, but they were chaotic, and I'm here for the chaos. There were dysfunctional relationships galore, which is something I love. And this was a really cool kind of look at how just because you're friends with somebody, like in this instance in college, time has happened. Time has passed and you are not the same person you were when you were 18 or 19. Like, I don't even think I'm the same person I was when I was like 30. Like, time happens, people change. And it was really interesting seeing the characters try and sort of struggle to identify each other as their current selves and not as the 19-year-old that they remembered, drinking beer out of a shoe. They didn't drink beer out of a shoe, but most of us maybe know somebody who did. It wasn't me. I don't drink beer. This book actually starts with a murder, so that's not a spoiler. I actually think it says on the back. It does. So not a spoiler to say, the book starts with the murder, and then we sort of go back and we see the build up to what happened. We learn who the victim is, and we learn who done it and why they done it. And it's got a little bit of a good for her vibe in this book. And I kind of found myself rooting for the characters, even though they weren't like the nicest of people. I was like, ah, you've got good intentions. I love this. It was so light, so fast paced, and it kind of gave me everything I wanted and everything I needed. So I have read my 2 books in this video. I have gone for little walkie walks, which, you know, get outside and all that. And I've got a plan for the summer. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling like I am ready. And yes, we're gonna have a good summer. Or at the very least, an okay summer. That's the goal. We're having an okay summer. I'm not the boss of you. You don't have to have an okay summer. But I would like you to have a nice time. Let me know if you've read either of these books or if you're interested in reading them. And if you have any goals for the summer, let me know, because we're doing it. We're having a good summer. Again, I'm not the boss of you. You don't have to. It would be nice though. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.